guys, so this plane's coming on quite nicely now. Been working on it for I suppose about 5 hours I suppose in total, done over a few nights. Going to give you a little tip now. I'm rebuilding the sheeting across the front, and obviously this part here was broken quite badly, so it had to be rebuilt. Now I've spliced in a few pieces of balsa just to fill it, but this is a little tip for you. When you've got gaps in little bits of balsa like this, a good way to fill them is to do the following. I'm going to show you now, just trimming this little bit off here for a second. Right, so along here I want to fill this gap, alright? So what I'm going to do is just trim this off with a sharp knife, get it nice and level. Should be a lip here. Well, I want a lip here, so that's why I'm taking this piece out. So it fits the rest of the model. So it looks like two power bulges on the front. Okay, so that's pretty much dug out now. Okay, so when you want to fill a joint like this one here is that I've done, what you do is, I'll just zoom in so you've got a better picture. Okay, so you can see here, this was a hole, and basically all I did was take some medium cyno, turn the plane up a little bit so it doesn't run everywhere, run it into the groove, not too much, just enough to get some in there. Okay, and then taking some sandpaper, I'm using 80 grain. You basically sand the area you're working on, like so. Good sanding. Now this is a top tip, and you're going to use it all the time in the build now. And voila! You see here now where the sawdust, as I was sanding, filled the gap. It's created a nice joint. A little tiny bit more to do. Just a little bit there. Drop a little bit of cyno in there. Cyno the edge again. Sandpaper, 80 grain. And there you go. There you go. Yeah, it's completely disappears. All the little grains of sawdust fall into where you've got the cyno, make a rock hard joint, which is nice and smooth and finished. So, as you can see, it's a great way of filling. It's a great way of filling in all the smooth little areas like this, where you've got areas that need filling in. And it's pretty straightforward, as you can see. So I'm going to crack on, finish the rest of the sheeting, and I'll get you back later. Okay, so welcome back. As you can see, I've now done this piece. This has all been patched right the way along, and as you can see, it's not a bad job. You know, it's a little bit of sheeting put on, scrap sheeting that I had. It's nice and tough, all rebuilt, and obviously now when I cover that in my Solatex, then it'll disappear. So yeah, but just make sure you rub that down nice and fine. When you do get some cracks and holes that you can't fill, put a bit of thick cyno or medium cyno is better in there, sand away, and it lets it fill it naturally, gives a nice hard solid joint. Okay, so I hope you find that useful. Okay, so how do you deal with a crack in your balsa? So as you can see here, it's a nice little crack in the balsa. Let's just zoom in. Let's bring that in. So as you can see here, a little crack. Okay, easiest way to do this is quite simply, again, medium sino. Open the cracks a tiny little bit. Put the medium sino on it. Take your sandpaper again and just rub it over. Go across it slightly and then down it. Job done. Now that is actually filled with a little bit of sawdust and the sino. Where that sino is in there now is actually stronger than the surrounding balsa, so that's how you fill one of those. Here is the last piece of sheeting repair that needs to be done. My wife having a go at the dog, she's doing something naughty. Okay, so as you can see here, there you go, there's a nasty little hole here. And then all I would do with that, drop on a bit of sino, all around a little bit like that. This is slightly different. Rather than try and fill it, I'm just going to put a little tiny patch over the top of it. So you just take a small piece of sheeting and then on about the right size to start with, it does help. Place it on top. That's it. Push it nice and firm. Like so. Until you end up with that, which looks rather, sorry, this is awful filming, until you end up with that which looks rather ungainly. However, that's just a start. Take your knife, line it up, line the edge of the knife up with the balsa, and then just skim along the edge. So I'm not taking nothing off this piece of balsa, just taking it off there. And that gives you a rough edge. Trim it in. Trim it this way. Okay. And then this piece here I tend to leave because, as you can see, that's indented, yeah? Again, back to this, sand it on, following the natural edge that you had before. A little bit that way, keep it straight. And then this way, don't go up because you can flip it up again. Okay, now the little gap, the dent that we were talking about earlier. Again, a couple of drops of cyano in there. Don't let it run anywhere, so I've got the angle right. Back over there. Okay, now drop the cyano in there, simply sand it along the edge that you want. And I'll bring the camera in to try and show you that. Can you see that? Now what you've got, nice and filled, smoothed out, and that's it. It's that easy. Now this edge here I would like to be like the other edge on this side, which I filled, didn't I? So I'll show you how to do that again. At that angle now, so you're trapping all the fibres in the sawdust in there. Fill up the joint. And there you have it. Bring the camera over. There you have it. As you can see now, right the way along this joint, all that sawdust has fallen onto that sino, and it's filled it and smoothed it out. So that's a little simple technique for you, which should help when you're trying to fill gaps and stuff. Rather than using fillers and things, you can actually use the natural material, which is the sawdust from the balsa. Okay, I'll crack on. Okay guys, so here I'm about to test the engine. The basic build has been done now. It's nice and strong again. Just want to make sure the engine and everything's all lined up. I won't be able to know if it's completely lined up till I fly it. If there's a degree or two out or whatever, it's going to be difficult, but that kind of adjustment I can do when I'm flying it. If it ever does need a thrust adjustment, I'll do that in a separate video, but I'll just add washers to the engine, which will allow it to alter its angle. Hopefully, the way I've rebuilt it, it should be almost exactly as it was before. So now I'm going to attempt to start it. Obviously, as I'll show you, always restrain your aircraft. As you can see there, that's nice restrained. Nothing hopefully can go wrong, because these are dangerous. There's a lot of injuries, unnecessary injuries because of them. So, turning on the tranny, setting everything to 0. Check the model. Yep. These out of the way. Okay. Okay, so turn the model on. Choke on. With petrol, it's a good idea to put the choke on. You spin it. I'll see with it, can it? With petrols, what we do, we put the choke on and then you spin it until it fires. Then you take the choke off, it should fire up. So hopefully it will. Always stand well back. Let's put some fuel into it. Now I'm going to engage the ignition. So that's actually on. It was completely empty, I forgot to say that. Because it was completely empty, I've had to drain fuel through the pipes into the engine, so now hopefully she should fire.